Kim Bolufe, Do You Have It, with my daughter Alexandria right here beside me. We have a special guest for you today, a wonderful guest. I'm so happy and grateful that you're on our show. This is Sheryl Clark, CEO, President of Boston Proper. Hi.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. You guys are amazing, and I'm so thankful and grateful for you inviting me today and for us to have this discussion about women.
Yes. The story that I've heard that you've told is just so inspiring. I completely relate to it, and I want the rest of the world to know your story because it is a beautiful story for women, entrepreneurs, CEOs to understand and believe that it's okay. We are here now at 2023 doing what we should be doing.
Absolutely.
So let's go back in time. How did you start out in fashion?
So I've always wanted to be in fashion. I was born in an Italian-American family, but my grandparents were first generation, and my parents were very conservative. And it was a little bit of a challenge, right? My dad was a lawyer, and his dream was for his kids to follow, going to college and actually doctors, lawyers, that pressure. And really, I was the baby of the family. So by the time my sister and brother both said no to the law career, the pressure was on me. Unfortunately, it was never going to happen. I just wasn't interested in it. And I'd always been like the black sheep of the family, dressing all like my own way and had my own style. I definitely went to the bus stop with a tote bag full of clothes because my parents wouldn't let me leave. And what I really wanted to wear, my first stop every morning was the bathroom to change into my cool hip outfit in high school. And luckily my mom wasn't home when I got home, so I could change out of it before they came home. But that was my high school story. When I wanted to go to college, my dad really forced me to make sure I was getting a business degree, so I had something to fall back on. So we compromised. I did a 3-1 program where I got a business economics degree, and then I went to FIT in New York City for my fashion merchandising degree. And from there, it's been a story of ups and downs and challenges. And, my first job was right out of college at Bloomingdale's in their executive training program. I was like so proud. I was finally going to be like the fashionista I always wanted to be. My first assignment was the bakery. So that was my first journey of understanding there's going to be a lot of ups and downs, and you've got to make the best of everything. When I got my assignment in the bakery, I was so upset. Went home crying. I was convinced my dad was going to say, "I told you so," when I called him, and he was like, "You're going to be the best bakery buyer they ever had. You're going to go in there and you're going to be a leader and you're going to build skills and you're going to do it." And it really helped me, having his confidence behind me, because it was always somewhat of a challenge. Was he going to accept what I'm doing? Is it going to be good enough? And so I did, and I had an amazing career at Bloomingdale's, 6 years. But then I knew it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. There was a lot of, and no one take this the wrong way, but there was a lot of guys running the senior offices, and all the amazing jobs were all guys, no matter what area it was in, running women's fashion. And I didn't see a path for me to grow. And so I knew I had to make a change. And so I was recruited by the Gap, and I went there and I spent 16 years with Gap Inc. in San Francisco. And I think that's where the continuation of my journey really, everything came together, because I was married. It was time for me to start having kids, but I was traveling a ton. And so I had to kind of figure out the balance. And I'm so proud to say that I made a decision that was right for me, and it was right for my family. And that decision was to be the breadwinner of the family. I was the one who was going to go to work and travel and give it my all, days, nights, weekends, whatever it took. And my husband was going to really help and controlling the household. I mean, running a household is a lot. Mm-hmm. And so running a household and a child is a lot too. So he took that whole burden off of me. I would go to Hong Kong 4 times a year, Europe 4 times a year, New York 4 times a year. And I never had to worry about how that was going to work. Was my daughter going to be okay? Was somebody going to be there in the morning when I had to leave at 4 a.m. to go catch a plane? He was there. And she's incredible because she had a different experience. And granted, there were times where my husband was the only dad. I mean, if you think about 25, 26 years ago, he was the only dad at drop off and pick up back then. Same. But we made a mark. And my daughter is amazingly balanced because she had both of us. And I think the biggest question I always get is, the whole balance thing. And are you guilty? Do you have guilt? And I don't have any of it. I don't. I am so proud of my journey. I'm proud that my husband, who's now taking care of our grandson, so second generation of child caregiver, like it's just, it worked for us. It worked for us, and it worked for my daughter because we were able to do great things. We went on fun vacations. We traveled. We did lots of different things, and I'm a big fan throughout my life of quality, not quantity, because you can have a whole lot of something, but it's not meaningful. If you make every moment that you have together meaningful, you do things that create memories and experiences, then there's no guilt.
I agree 1,000%. And I have a very similar story to yours. I am the breadwinner, always has been. So I couldn't raise Alexandria, who is 29 now, sitting next to me. I had to have my mom help, my ex-husband, and I always felt guilty. And hearing you say this is such a relief because that is correct. Not only are we role models to our children, especially daughters, but she, my daughter, and yours, was able to have a life that I couldn't have as a child because I came from Hong Kong. I was 4 years old. We were very poor. And I was able to give my daughter the life that she has now, her schooling, private schools. And why would a woman feel guilty? That's why women like us have to collaborate. We have to talk about this. We have to let the world know that today, there's no such thing. Don't feel guilty because it is a partnership. It's not like old school where a man makes all the money and the woman's at home when she's brilliant and talented and can offer so much financially and, of course, intellectually. So I really appreciate you telling the world this. I feel exactly the same way, and you've helped me so much just by sharing your story. So I no longer feel guilty, but it took me all these years. 30, I would say, Alexandria, it took me, I would say, 28 years, 29 years to start to feel, to reverse the guilt. How do you feel about that as me, as your mom, the breadwinner, the entrepreneur that built the brand Bolufe?
Well, I remember my childhood as fantastic. You always remember the good things, at least in childhood, I think, not the bad things. So I always look back on childhood and it was amazing. I had a great life. I loved my life. Still love it.
You traveled the world with me.
Yep.
Just like Sheryl says, she went to Hong Kong. She went all over the world. She was a businesswoman. Did your daughter cry, though, when you left? Because you would cry, Alexandria, and then it would make me feel so
I remember
guilty.
I'd cry if you didn't wake me up when you got home. And she would get home at like midnight. And then I'd wake up at like 4 a.m. I'm like, she didn't say hi. She didn't say hi when she got home.
I think the hardest part back then is we didn't have cell phones and computers
True.
and this whole constant
True.
ability to FaceTime. I mean, I think about like doing it today. It's got to be so much easier because there were times where I'd go days, with especially when I was in Hong Kong, that with the time difference, trying to just connect and it never feels as close as at least if you can FaceTime and do some things now. So I think it was even harder when we were doing it because you didn't have the communication methods that you have today, which are really great. And, listen, at the end of the day, I'm so like, let the gender thing go. What's right for you? What's right for your family unit? Each one of us has a different way that works for us. And, I think now to my daughter who's married and has a child, we're such a part. Like I moved away, so I didn't even have that like kind of adulting with my parents. I'm learning this whole adulting with your child thing, and it's so much fun. And I think about my grandson Colson, and it literally does take a village to raise him. I mean, my mom has him one day a week as well as his great grandmother, right? Like, how cool is that? That she's able to do that as well. And so it's. I just feel like everyone has to do what's right for them, and then they have to be proud of what they're doing and know that that's the path. And there's going to be ups and downs, and they're going to make mistakes, but we're all about making mistakes. I mean, we're in the fashion business. If you're not making mistakes, you're not learning.
That is 1,000% correct as well. And what's your fashion forecast for say 2024, 2025?
I feel like there's so much happening right now. It's really exciting to me. Like just the pant leg change from the skinny jeans to wider jeans and boot cuts and palazzos. And I just, it's forcing people, I think, to buy some new things and update their clothes. And I love that. And I love, fall's coming. So even though we live in South Florida, we dress for fall.
Fall is my favorite, and I can never wear any of our sweaters because it's so hot. I save them for my vacations.
Yeah, that's true. But it's funny. You can tell in our office when the changes happen because everyone's now wearing over-the-knee boots, even though it's hot. And
I do the same.
We're we're wearing layers, and it's cold inside our building, so it helps. But yeah, I just think. I also feel like I think we chatted about this at one of the chamber presentations. Like I'm not so like fashion. You have to be you have to be in fashion all the time. Like I feel like again, like families, people have to decide what's the right style for them. And once you know your style, then there's people like us that can help take your style and keep it you in a way that's easy, versatile, and comfortable for you so that you can feel confident in the clothes and the choices you have. Like I'm so not like, oh, that's not fashionable anymore. You can't wear that. Do we laugh sometimes when we're watching TV and we're like, ew, we don't like that. But I just feel in general like the only way, not the only way, but one of the most important ways women feel confident is when they feel good about themselves.
100%.
Yes.
And if we can help them with those choices and making those choices easier, either by styling them or providing clothing for them that's kind of designed mindfully for the stage in life that they're in and the challenges that they're going through, then we win and they win too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Now, Boston proper is $100 million,
Yeah, we've done $100 million. It's pretty exciting.
and it's transitioning to digital.
Yep.
It's a catalog business, and maybe one day you might go back into brick and mortar. Tell me a little bit about that.
I've been with Boston Proper for 15 years, and it's been a journey because I've had different phases. So while I've only in my career, I work for 3 companies, but each company has allowed me at different points to change and do different things. So when I was at the Gap, I started at the Gap, then I went to Old Navy. So it broke up that long time period. So I felt like I was always, I'm a learner. You're a learner too, right? Every day we want to learn something new. We want to just kind of keep that innovation flowing. So at Boston Proper, my first stage was really family owned. It was a family owned business. I loved working for a family owned business. It was just incredibly, it was such a break from being at the Gap for 16 years. There was no bureaucracy. You could do what you needed to do and make it happen. So that was a great phase. Then we sold the company, which was an interesting learning experience to me, going through the process of selling the company. That didn't really work. So after we sold the company, we lived through it for a couple of years, and then we amicably divorced. And now we're with a strong private equity company that really gives us guidance and perspective and really just kind of lets us do our thing, which is great because I like running the company and I like making the decisions that are right for Lucy long term, Lucy, our customer, and I like kind of being in charge. I like that.
Tell us about Lucy because I love this.
I love who Lucy is. And when she's talking and she says, Lucy, Who's that? So tell us who Lucy is.
Lucy is our internal name and she represents all of our customers. And it was a way for us internally to all be able to close our eyes and picture who our customer was. So whether you were a designer designing for, if you were a fit technician and you were fitting, you knew that Lucy's body type, or Lucy's body was 40 plus. So your body at 40 is different than your body at 20 and 30. So everybody in our company, knowing who Lucy is able to use their expertise and the knowledge of who Lucy is to make sure we're catering right for her. So we say a lot, we use the term mindfully design because as a woman who's older, Lucy doesn't love wearing strapless bras, so we always kind of make sure there's a way to either, hide your bra strap, or, if we do have to sell something that's strapless because the look is so amazing, we make sure we give her a great strapless bra so that she can buy the complete look. But we're always thinking about things. Where should the pockets be? Should something be lined? Should it have, if it's crochet, do we need to put a little liner underneath it or give her a cami because she doesn't want to go find a cami that matches? So we're always mindfully thinking about how to make this journey for Lucy easier, because if she's confident in what she's wearing, then she's going to keep coming back and shopping more.
Yes, that's true. And would you say right now in the industry or at Boston proper, what's the ratio, men and women?
It's so funny because I was actually working remotely last Monday. I wasn't feeling well and I didn't want to go into the office and bring my germs.
Sick.
So I was laughing because in the office, my 3 men who sit on my leadership team were there and all the women were remote. And I was like, wow, we have 3 now. I'm so proud of us. It's highly dominant. I mean, we're probably of the 65 people, there's probably 5 guys and the rest are women. But the 5 guys make an impact and we love them because they bring a different perspective and they help balance us out.
Wow, that's really interesting. The world has changed, right?
For sure.
And these are all working moms.
I have a ton. I mean, I think that's part of, we've created a culture. To me, we chatted about culture. A culture is so important right now and the work environment. And it's almost more important that you find somebody that can adapt and live and love your culture than it is with the brains and the experience that they come with. Because if you
can teach it, teach skills.
And if you don't have the culture that permeates there, then you're going to stick out. You're going to cause problems for everybody. So, it's important it was always important for me, but I will say Michael Tiernan, the founder of Boston Proper, started it family first. So if you have to go to a basketball game or you need to go to there's a singing thing or it's Mother's Day and they're doing a breakfast, you have to go. Like, it's not even a choice for me, for anybody who works on my team. These are the moments that are memorable that your kids are going to remember. And it's important that I make sure that we create the time so they do it without guilt. And I think that's the other part of the journey, right? Way back when I remember when I got pregnant at the Gap, I didn't even tell anybody for months because all of a sudden you've got this stigmatism on you, where here it's like now I feel like now it's a celebration. So how can we make the journey easier for you? How can we make your time while you're getting close to the end or your time back? We really work with moms who are coming back to say, listen, how can we make this an easier journey for you to come back into the workforce? Because you can't go day 1 and go 40 hours. Like, it's just crazy. So how can we so again, it's about understanding kind of the journey I went on and where were those opportunities where I can make it better and give back.
It's a full circle moment.
It is.
Yes. And, talking about that, I do remember when I first started with Meisner Park, this was 30 years ago. I didn't tell the world that I was Kim Bolufe, and I made my ex-husband the president because I didn't think that the world would understand why is there a CEO, president, woman. Because back then, most of my customers were men, successful men that flew into Meisner Park, and it would not be something they're accustomed to. A young, especially Asian woman that is really the founder of the business. Yeah. So I put him as the president for years and years and years. When did this all change? I know this sounds ridiculous. During COVID. During COVID, I let the world know, finally, Bolufe is really Kim Bolufe. And I went out into the social media world for the very first time, and the world really discovered that I was behind this the entire time. And today, women shouldn't feel that way. Well, my background is even more extreme because I grew up as Chinese, very strict upbringing where the man would always take the lead. So even though I grew up in America, I went to college, I grew up in New York City, the fashion industry, I still had that mindset, which is today it's unheard of, right? It's unheard of that that I should
take a back seat. No way.
And I did. I took a back seat even though I was the brains behind everything and the workaholic. My ex-husband had to take care of my daughter. Today, I want the world to know that that is just ridiculous. We are a team, and women are intelligent, emotional, compassionate, smart, can accomplish anything that you put your mind to. Living proof. I have you here on the show, and you share the same exact thoughts and the feelings as I do.
Well, and we did this for our daughters. right? I mean, they will not have to go through what we went through. They won't have to go through those. They'll have different challenges for sure, but it won't be those same challenges that put us in a box and said you can only go this far or this high.
Absolutely. How do you feel, Alexandria, knowing that this is what had to be done or was done in order to lay it out for future entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs?
Well, I think the tide's turning now. Like, they're definitely relationships are definitely more partnerships now, where it is a 50-50 equal split. My husband cooks for me every night, like stuff like that, where it was always like imagined that the woman would cook for you every night. So I think the tides are turning. My generation is more open to that, and also they're more open to the double income.
Yeah.
The double income.
Yeah.
Right.
Our generation's money conscious, probably because of 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the differences between men and women in the workplace with an organization as big as yours, what do you think the pros and cons are?
I think listen, we need women, we need men, we need everybody, right? And the best is when you can figure out, like, I think of everything like as a recipe, when you can figure out the right recipe. So for me, my partner is Adrian Miramontes. He's my CFO and COO. He allows me to do my job really well, and I allow him to do his job very well. And our trust allows us to stay in our lanes and really do our best without having to worry about the other side of the business. So for me, I've struggled at different times if I didn't have that strong partner, because I need to stay focused on the product and the marketing and the things that we're doing from a creative standpoint for Lucy. And if I'm worried about cash, or if I'm worried about paying bills or logistics or things like that, then I'm not doing what I'm best at. So I feel like just in general, male or women, you've got to find the right people that you trust, that have and share your vision, and that then you surround yourself with smart. I have so many smart people I surround myself with. And then I let them go, and they know when to bring me in the loop, and they know when they've got, that I'm going to just run with something. So I feel like the world now, again, it's changing. We're doing lots of different things. People are I feel like you have to be innovative, even if you're in finance. You have to think outside of the box, even if you're in accounts payable. Like, no matter what your job is, if you can bring in some inspiration and things that make you happy, then you're going to be happy doing it, and then we all win.
Yes, and the other thing is in our culture, where my entire team, it's very important that they feel valued, that they bring value, and that they are valued. And of course, their personal life. When you take an interest in their personal life, it makes a huge difference. It's not just a job. Mm-hmm. They believe that you care, because you do, and you want to do for them what's right for their personal time, so that they value the job that they have, and they do the best they can. And I would say our team is very loyal to us, right?
Oh, yes. It's very much like a family. We're all very close.
That's great. I mean, I feel the same way. I love my Boston Proper team, and we are. We spend so much time together. It is a family. Yeah. I will say the only difference with having more men than we have in the past is, I was thinking about it. We're sometimes we're always like throwing our clothes off and trying things on, and you have to be a little more mindful now, like who's in the hallway and who sees you, and I tend to be the sample size, so I'm always like throwing my clothes off, and every once in a while I was like, wait, somebody's in there. But that's probably the biggest difference.
Also, obviously, you love what you do, and you have to love what you do and be passionate about it to be great at it, right? If let's say you were away from work just a week, you would just be missing it, that it's time to get back in there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't look at it as work. I look at it as I guess it is work, but it's what I do. Yeah. It's part of who I am. I can't go to an airport and not look at what everyone's wearing, right? You can't watch TV and be dissecting their clothes and saying, oh, that jacket's so cool, we should get something like that. Lucy might like that, right? Like, you're always on, but you're on doing something that you love, so it doesn't feel like work. And I think, listen, your decision to come work for your mom was based on the fact that you wanted to do something that brought happiness to you, made you like you just felt so satisfied. Like
Totally.
if you went and did something different, you probably would have been struggling your whole life because it wasn't what your true passion was. And so I feel the same way about my family and everybody. Like you've got to do what makes you passionate and makes you happy, because if you're happy, then you're going to be better at everything. Your personal life, you're going to be a better mom. You're going to be better at work. You're going to do everything better.
That's right. Alexandria, she was going to be an attorney. She was on her way to be an attorney. And I thought, okay, it'd be better that she's not in my business. I never really wanted her to be in this business because it is a very challenging business. You have to be on your game. You have to be on top of fashion, not the trends, because we're not a trendy business. We are a business in making women feel more confident. Mm-hmm. It's a big... I would say that's the most important part of our business. Women come into our business, they book an appointment with us, either with myself, Kim Bolufe, or Alexandria Bolufe. Usually they're going on a cruise or a vacation, and Kim, we are going to be traveling to Greece. I want an entire outfit for myself and for my husband. Because, as you say on the live show, and as everyone knows, I hope everyone knows by now, I've done 154 live shows, and Sheryl, you're going to be on one of them. And we style them for the occasion. So what do we do, really? We give the man confidence, because more than 50% of our business is men's. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference. It's not just a woman's boutique. It's a family boutique, really, right? Mm-hmm. It's for the husband and the wife. And we're in the business of, and our passion,
feel great.
Yes, making people feel amazing, confident. Like you said earlier, when a woman feels good about herself, she feels confident when she looks in the mirror and she says, I like the way I look today. Now she could face the world with her shoulders back, her head up high. And that, at this time in our lives, yours and mine, all the years that we're doing this is the most gratifying, wonderful feeling that you can give on to another woman.
Yes,
right?
I agree. Absolutely. It's what we live for. It's what we do it for.
Yes, and that's why it's not like work. It is part of who you are every day when you wake up. Okay, it's time to go to Boston proper, and you see all your people, everyone's happy, everyone's a team, everyone's accomplishing a goal. Same with us, even though it's a much smaller scale, it's the same concept.
Yes, absolutely.
Similar customers too.
Yeah. We all start, we all have to start somewhere, right? And then from there we do it. We do what we do and hope that we find the niche of people that are attractive to what we're doing and what our message is, and they want to take a journey with us.
Yes. Now, the difference is when you have a retail location like Alexandria and I do, people come in. We get to see them. They get to feel the emotion, and you can see the transformation, the before and after clothing. So in your business, catalog business going digital, because you don't get to meet Lucy, and you have Lucy as I would say, the model, how do you know what the customer really wants?
It's interesting. So we're doing a lot more user-generated content now so that we can kind of see what Lucy's doing. She's sending in pictures. But where I spend a lot of time is being in a company, we have ratings and reviews, and my team puts together every month like all the reviews, and they do it by every style that we have. And Lucy writes in, and she writes a lot. And so I religiously read through every single one of them. 5 is the perfect rating and 1 is the bad. I start at 5 because I was starting at 1 before and I was getting too depressed. I would rather read the good ones, and then as I get to the bad ones, I'm like, oh, okay, there were some really good ones there. So maybe this is just a fit issue, or maybe her body didn't work for this, or maybe there's something I need to look into a little bit more. So I definitely spend a lot of time doing that. I read through all of our social media accounts when she's she's highly engaged in what we're doing when we post things. So I try to reach her that way. But I think the best thing, and it's taken us 30 years, and I don't know why, but we're about to kick off in September a loyalty program that I'm hoping will allow me to have some contact with all of our customers at different stages as they're going through their journey with Boston Proper. So I try my best through just different ways to do it. But when we had stores, it was literally so exciting to see somebody come in the door and then, as you're saying, like help them like go through their journey of if they needed some different styles, if they were going someplace, and then walking out with your shopping bag. Like,
it is so satisfying.
Yeah, it's great.
And another beautiful thing, very gratifying, is the customer becomes so loyal and becomes friends really with us. They're just so emotional and so grateful. It is life enhancing, I should say, right?
Yeah. On my Instagram is Sheryl. We do Cheryl's Loves and Sheryl at Boston Proper. And I feel like there's an opportunity that we can take that to the next level too and do some more like live things. I mean, we really want to become more digital like we were chatting about and interacting more with the customer live. And you guys are a great example between all of the stuff that you're doing. You guys are killing it in the digital world, and you're store based, and you're killing it. And so you give me hope that as we are transitioning to be less relying on the catalog and more digital, great examples of success.
Thank you so much. Yes, the Facebook Live show has shown the world, thousands and thousands and thousands of viewers, how to wear this outfit with this pant, with this necklace and this belt, and this accessory, the shoes and the purse. So the woman that's watching actually gets to see, oh, so that's how you wear it. So that's very important because that's one-on-one contact, because she's at home on her phone watching us give her an entire, I would say, education, or in a fun way. Then her husband, because my show is a show for a man, woman, or couple. Then her husband walks in, and they're going off to a cruise. So I dress the woman in all resort attire. Her husband comes on the show, and we dress him in this magnificent sports coat, pocket square, shirt, shoes, trousers, the hat, everything. And what it does is the customer connects with us. So I would say fashion is not just a way of life. It's fun. It's the memories they create in the photograph when they take a picture. Oh, I wore this. I got this whole outfit at Bolufe, and here I am on the Virgin Cruise or Celebrity Cruise, right?
Yeah.
We have many customers that do that. And
Lucy's a cruiser too.
Lucy. And who made up that name Lucy?
It's so funny. We were going through, we had at one point, we had like 6 personas, kind of thinking about different Lucys within Boston Proper. And we just all kept going to and they each had a name. One was Lucy, one was Anna. There was a couple of them. And we just all kept going back to the Lucy. And for some reason, it kind of stuck. And so it's Lucy, Lucy, Lucy.
I love it.
I love that, Lucy.
It does allow, I will tell you, it does allow the team to all have the same perspective. Because when working at Bloomingdale's or the Gap, the customer was so vast.
Yeah, that's true.
And there wasn't a vision of who she truly was. I mean, at Old Navy, it was everybody, right? So for me, being at Boston Proper, to create this persona and everyone to understand who it is, then we're not questioning whether a certain trend is right for her or not, right? When everyone was wearing, those little shorts. I don't know why my brain went dead.
Like the Daisy Dukes.
Yeah, like just like either shorts or like the workout shorts outside.
Oh yeah,
I can't keep thinking of the name. But anyway, it's not a trend for Lucy. Our Lucy's not wearing that. It just doesn't work for her, right? Like so, it helps us weed out the trends that aren't right for her by having a kind of vision of who she is.
I think that's a great idea. And your customer is 40 plus.
Correct.
Okay, so is our customer 40 plus. Our customer at this time in their life, especially the ones that are just around 48, 50, 51, 52, transitioned, new life. They want to now finally It's about me now. I took care of my family. I did everything that I was supposed to do. Now it's about me. So giving confidence to women in this age group that we're talking about is so rewarding, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's the first time in their lives that they're going to do something for themselves.
Yeah, or that they think of themselves.
And I agree. I think it's like a new transition, right? It's a new phase for her. So her body's probably changed since the last time she was buying as many clothes as she needs now. And she's got a vision in her head of what she looked like, and then she's going in there. And our job is to help her see that aging is a wonderful thing. The amount of experiences I have that, like, people say every once in a while, oh, don't you wish you were 20 again? I'm like, no, I don't. I actually am living my best life at 50 plus because I've got the experience, I've got the knowledge, I've got the capability, I've traveled, I've seen things. Like, I'm a better Sheryl than I ever was. And I think it's because of all the different journeys and experiences I've had. But I say over 50 and fabulous, baby.
And I absolutely love that. I'm right there with you, and I agree 100%. And, women need to know in our business and in yours, Bolufe, Boston Proper, we are not here for just a trend, a teenage trend. This is for a woman that really wants to look age appropriate, but fashionable and fabulous and ready to go on vacation with her husband, right?
Mm-hmm. Agreed. I agree 100. And I think another great thing is, listen, both of us are similar businesses, similar customers, and we're both pushing each other, holding each other up, holding hands with each other, saying, I want you to be so successful, and I feel it back. Like, that's the world of womanhood that we need to create too. And I think sometime in the past, it was about putting women against women. And I think, again, that was some other society thing to probably not let us get as strong as we could be. Because when we can get together and support each other and be there for each other, no matter what industry we're in, we're supporting all women. And that's, let's all share the crown, right?
Yes.
Oh my God, that was a good pearl.
That was an excellent pearl.
That might be her
ask her
pearl.
for a pearl, but that
might
is
be
the
it.
pearl. I have chills when you say that. 1,000%. It is true. Women helping other women. In the past, it was different. Who knows why women would pit themselves against each other and what caused that? Today, what you give the world gives you back. When you help other women, we're just all better together. We're all in it together. I really appreciate you saying that because that's how I feel. That's where my heart is. Alexandria, for you to be young and to hear this is an excellent direction, a belief system. So I really appreciate that. Do you think that should be your pearl, or do you want to add another pearl?
I think the only other pearl I would say to our daughters and anyone who's growing up right now is to embrace each step of the journey. I do believe, if I was like, as I go back and think about it, I was always so pushing myself to get to the next level, right? To get to the next level, that sometimes I didn't enjoy the journey. So I got it tattooed on my arm at 50, embrace the journey, because
I love that.
the memories are in the journey, right? The learnings are in the journey. When you got to that place that you were trying to get to, once you get there, then you're looking at the next place, right? And so really taking time to enjoy the journey. When I talk to the kids in college, I say, I know you want to get to that place where you're successful and you're independent and you're this and that, but the journey's where it all comes from. All the meaning of it comes from that journey.
Yes.
That's a good pearl too.
Yes, that is.
Two great pearls.
She gave us 2 great pearls. Did everyone hear this? I just want to thank you so much.
Thank you. This was so fun.
Sheryl Clark, CEO, President of Boston Proper, I so appreciate you coming on the show and sharing with the world your journey. Thank you so much. Alexandria, tell everyone how they can find us.
You can shop us online at bolufeboutique.com, on our socials at Bolufe Boutique. We have a location in Meisner Park, Boca Raton, and Delray Beach on Atlantic Ave.
Yes, bolufeboutique.com. And our show, tell them when our live shows are.
Tuesdays at 7:30 p.m. Eastern.
Every Tuesday. So everyone, we'll see you again next time. Show me the love. Bye, everyone.